and this is why it's nice to demonstrate this. It's nice to demonstrate on a character that you can actually see. I can calibrate this character. Okay, so what's the reason? Because you were very, I want to do this. Okay, what do you want to learn from her? And do you want to be Mrs. Maisel? So she's known as Mrs. Maisel.
Yes, yeah. She's known as Mrs. Maisel. And
what do you want to ask her?
Ask?
No, what do you want to ask her? Because she'll be interviewed. What questions do you want to ask her? If you're interviewing her, what questions are you going to ask her?
I didn't think about the questions.
So what answers do you want?
I like to ask her about the strategy, about the how she became aware of her personality traits she's using in the comedy show.
So how did she become?
No, not how she became the comedian. She is, but she uses her personal strengths, her personal characteristics, and she's aware of that and brings it to stage. So she's playing around with it, and I would like to know how she identified these characteristics for her to bring on the stage.
Okay, so for those of you, what happens is that she is a comedian. She's a character that's a comedian, and she uses all her comedy is around her own stuff. Okay, so you want to know how she brings, or is it? Do you want to know how she chooses the stuff, or how?
Basically, how she developed her character into the role on stage. Well, there's no split. It's actually her on stage.
Okay.
And she's bringing her personal characteristics and strengths. And
how does she bring her character to stage?
Yeah. And how she does that in this smooth way, so it looks that easy. So she is basically the same character on stage as off stage, and how she if I watch her, that the difference is she's just making it bigger on stage, and how she makes it bigger and funny.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, what else? Think of things that you can learn and take away. So you want to know how she makes her character on stage, how she makes her character bigger, because she's using herself. So how does she bring that to stage, making it bigger and making it funnier? Yeah? What else? Because you said you had a whole list.
Yeah, well, how she identified her manager, for example. Manager, female manager. How she does it in having such a high discipline in really for me the boring stuff. So
high discipline for what?
For observe writing down. How did she model the people? How did she actually copy it? So how did she...
Okay, so she does observational comedy, so how was she able to observe? Yeah? She does observational comedy. A lot of her comedy is based around situations, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's another...
yeah. So how does she observe, how does she have the discipline to actually observe a situation and turn it into her stage show?
A funny story?
Yeah. Okay.
A funny story which seems to be her own story.
Okay. Anything else?
I would love to ask her if she's aware that she's a kind of role model and how she became that.
Okay.
A list. How she... Should I pause?
Okay.
How she deals with the uncertainty and insecurity, because she just jumps into that knowing that this is what she needs to do and everything will turn out well.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay, now you know how to go deeply relaxed. Now what I will ask everyone to do in here, please, is we keep silent for this. There's no jumping in or suggestions. Yvonne's going to allow herself to go into a nice deep trance, and she knows how to do this already, but I'm going to help her. And I'll talk you through what's happening here. And when I ask Yvonne to open her eyes, she will be in character, and we will be all talking to her as if she's in character. So she's Mrs. Maisel. She will not be Yvonne.
Can I just say, how do you spell that?
Maizel.
M-A-I-Z-E-L.
Mrs. Maisel. New York. Okay. So, may I touch her knee?
Yep.
Right. This knee is going to allow you to wake up. That's going to waken yourself up. Make you. Now this is going to help you go deeper. So just take a nice deep breath. We're going to use fractionation here. This one will be open your eyes. This is go deeper. So close your eyes and just allow yourself to go really deeply relaxed. Even deeper relaxed than that. You know how to allow yourself safely to go into a wonderful state of deep relaxation. That's it. And close your eyes. And just smile your way into going into a state of deep trance. And deep trance is just deep relaxation. Becoming curious about this exercise and curious about what you'll learn. And then again, that's it. Deeply relaxed. That's it. And again. Deeply relaxed. Here we go again, that's it, and there you go. More and more relaxed. Even deeper relaxed. That's it. Just softening your shoulders. Now in a few moments, Yvonne, but not yet, I just want to check with your unconscious, if your unconscious is happy to do this. And if your unconscious is happy for the next 20 to 30 minutes to experience the experience of learning from Mrs. Maisel in ways that you probably haven't learned before, it will lift this finger for yes and this finger for no. So if your unconscious is happy for the purpose of this demonstration to learn, this finger will lift up, and if it's not happy, this finger will lift up. So just allow your unconscious to lift one of these fingers. And the finger can lift high, that's it, the finger's lifting, but the finger can lift high. I want that. So it's lifting off your knee, that's it. Lifting even higher. Now, thank you. In a few moments, I want you to imagine Mrs. Maisel standing in front of you. See how she looks, feel how she feels, hear how she sounds. And you are going to allow yourself to deep trance identify So already you're starting to make changes at the unconscious level, just the way your body is. You take your body into the way she stands, your voice into the way she speaks. That's it, with that giggle. Turn it up, feel, that's it, feel how good that feels. Yeah, you take it in. So what you're going to be doing just for a few moments is allowing yourself to learn from the experience of being the marvellous Mrs. Maisel, just for a few moments, for the next 20 minutes. And when you feel yourself becoming totally associated, feeling the physiology change, just connecting with the way she thinks, the way she does things, the way she speaks, the way she moves, the way she smiles, you allow the eyes to open. Hello, Mrs. Maisel.
Hey.
Hello, I'm Fiona. How are you?
Very well, how are you?
Very nice to meet you. I hope you don't mind, we've got some people here and they're here for the interview because they want to find out things about you, okay? So, may I ask you some questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Okay. How do you manage to take what happens in your life and make it bigger and make it funnier? How do you manage to do that?
I don't know if I do that. It's just talking.
Just talking?
Yeah, just go out and do it. I don't do anything. But
You don't do anything,
No.
so you just get up? Because you're well known for getting up and going on stage as a comedian.
But I just do it.
So how do you do it? Do you prepare? Do you have to work?
So I have my little book with me all the time. So if I have an information, if I have an idea or story, I just write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just go do it.
So you just go and do it. Okay. So how do you get the different scenarios? How do you know what to pick? Because you take things from life, you turn them round, you make them really funny, and you're amazing the way you can tell these stories. How do you know what to pick out of things?
It just comes.
It just come.
I just. So,
Could you tell me one of your stories just now?
just if I remember what I did in front of the army guys, and they were all wearing khaki everywhere. I was just thinking about, yeah, what's expecting me and what's jumping into my eyes. So wearing khaki, it's just jumping into my eyes, and it's affecting them, and it's affecting me in a very different way. So for them, this is normal. Wearing khaki every day? Possible. Can't imagine wearing khaki all the day.
No,
So the difference is, so
Yeah.
I think what I just said, yeah, it's different words. I just translate the different words probably.
Because you're known for your colourful clothes. You wear lots of colours.
Colors and dresses, so style is very important for me. Obviously, it's for life. So yeah.
Okay. Tell me what discipline you have, because what you have, you've got a lot going on in your life. You've got your children to look after, you've got your parents, things going on. So how do you get discipline to be able to do all that and then go and do the shows that you do?
I don't actually think it's discipline. It's joy. I love it.
Okay.
I just love what I do.
Mm-hmm. So it's all about the joy and the love of what you do, yeah? Do you know that you're a role model for a lot of people?
No? In what?
You're a role model for a lot of people in your way of doing things, in your enthusiasm, in the way that you can make a lot of people laugh. What would you say to people? What would your advice be to people? We've got some people in the audience here. What's about your advice to them that can maybe help them do some of the things, because it seems very easy for you to be doing what you're doing. So what advice can you give to some people in the audience?
Go and do it. So the first time I went on stage, I was drunken. So the first time I went on stage, I just did it. I just went there, just jumped into the situation. It was a feeling bringing me there. I just followed a feeling. So I think everything is following the feeling and having the joy. Don't think about anything else.
Okay. So it's just having that feeling and having the joy. How do you deal with uncertainty and insecurity? Because your life changes, goes in all sorts of directions. How do you deal with that?
Probably not thinking about it. Just go with the flow. There's always an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an option. Just we women, you know, we learn everything from the magazines, and you have a plan for this, you have a plan for that, and you organize everything around it. So you just take it as it is, and then you put a plan around it. Yeah, plan.
So you plan it. May I introduce you to the people that are here?
Yep.
Let's go ahead now. Another question I'd like to ask you. Thank you very much for that. Just have a seat. How did you manage to choose your manager?
She chose me.
Oh, she chose you. Okay. So just put your feet flat down. And what I'd like you to do, I'd like you just to allow Mrs. Maisel to just float away. And keeping all these resources, all that confidence, all these giggles, all that joy, that's it, keeping that part. And just thanking your unconscious now, Yvonne, for allowing you to experience just for 10, 15 minutes of the joy of how she felt. And then just allow yourself, when you're ready, to bring yourself back to full conscious alertness with everything that you learned in that experience that will help you do things in your life in the way that's right for you. And just only when you're ready, we open your eyes. Every part of you is back in the room, feeling good, feeling fine, a wonderful sense of well-being, physical as well as mental, feeling well-being. Just thanking your unconscious for that wonderful opportunity.
I didn't want to let her go.
You don't have to let her go now, we round the applause. You don't have to let her go. You can go into Mrs. Maisel's strength, because it's your strength anytime you want. We did this many years ago with a guy that became George Clooney, and it was so funny. He went round to meet everyone, and he got to this lawyer girl who was really sort of quite quiet the whole time. She went, I'm so excited to meet you. And then years later, I was out for lunch with them. We were talking about some business stuff, and I watched. He turned to the waitress, and he went, and he started, and it just, the sparkle came. He said, "Oh, George Clooney's been very, very good to me." He's been
very active.
So. Okay, so let's ask Yvonne. So how was that? How did that feel? Before we ask Yvonne, Kate, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm alright.
Kate just right. It was. Now let's put this into perspective. There's nothing voodoo, weird, or anything of this. This is what actors do. Actors take themselves into character. And you will see actors, really a good actor can make the slightest shift in their state and they become someone, okay? Mrs. Maisel she's not real, she's a character.
Yeah.
She's a character. The reason you're choosing who you want to choose is to get the resources from that. So this, Yvonne has chosen Mrs. Maisel, and I chose you because, to do this demonstration because did you see the excitement she had about thinking about it? What did you feel doing this?
It was a bit strange in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I realized in the end I became more and more Mrs. Maisel.
Yes, you got more into the character.
Yeah.
You got more into the character the more you moved about, and the more to see how she became more relaxed. Now remember, you were doing this in English, which is not your first language as well. So that was phenomenal to do this in English. Did you hear she took on a slightly New York accent?
Yes. Yeah.
There's no way. Yes, there's a slight New York accent. I've got it filmed, so I will give you the film.
It was like a different person.
What did you notice? Now, you all know Yvonne. What did you see different?
Mannerisms were a bit different.
Sorry?
Mannerisms.
Mannerisms were different?
Posture.
What's mannerisms?
The way you were moving?
Oh, okay.
Posture was
Posture,
different?
definitely. The way you walk, your hair, you like straight. As soon as you went into it, you straightened yourself. You were straightening yourself up, and you crossed your leg, and you were present. And you were like, for me, you were like a celebrity being interviewed.
Yeah.
Like you went into a different person. It was really fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
Even if you were questioning and being there, you were like a different person.
Yes. Okay. What did you notice the confidence she was coming out, especially when you got round here?
No.
Yeah. Confidence with the absolute confidence with answering the questions.
That last question, I mean, that was a real stretch, and it didn't faze you at all about looking at your goals.
No, because I think I realized internally that anything changed when I moved to that table. So I don't know what or how, but I realized I become more and more Mrs. Maisel because she's super spontaneous and answering those questions. I start to do it again, right? She's
This is good because this is all we're doing is you have this ability. And all we've done is we've liberated this ability to be super spontaneous.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting realizing this shift. I think it was a little bit even allowing myself more being
You played with it.
unconsciousness. Yeah.
You played with it a little bit. Now, you were Yvonne, weren't you, the whole time? You didn't turn into walking around thinking you were 100% Mrs. Maisel, did you? No. People don't see, and this is what happens on stage shows. People don't turn into the character. It just, they still know they're them, but they allow themselves to sort of go with the flow, and you gradually went in the flow. What was your question? I missed that one, but that seemed really interesting.
I asked what she did in her relaxation time.
Yes.
And she said, women have relaxation.
And she's also she's a beautician as well, and she makes people feel good with makeup. Yeah, that's how she knows how to make people feel good.
I don't know the character. But
What I'd like.
the spark and the essence that your character is portraying is certainly what you possess.
Okay.
So it's not too much of a leap.
No.
Is it where there's like this challenge of a female comedian? Is that the sort of main? Is that an undercurrent of it?
In the 1950s.
It was.
Sorry?
There's an undercurrent that a female shouldn't be on stage in it. I think I might have seen the first one. It's like she's the first female comedian.
She's breaking
Yeah.
the norm.
Yeah, she's breaking
Yeah,
the
she's
norm.
breaking the norm.
It's all challenging.
She's breaking. Right, so you're talking about undercurrents and challenging. So I'm hearing undercurrents and challenging. What we've got here is the bubbly, personality. But go and watch Mrs. Maisel if you can. If you've got Amazon Prime, just go and watch a little bit of it and just see. And you're right, John. In this instance, yes, but it's not always the case.
Okay.
Sometimes we can see complete reverse, where someone goes into a complete. I mean, the time we had the guy that went into the guru, he was the most gregarious Indian gentleman you could ever imagine in life. And I mean, he was the real holding court. When he became the guru, he went and sat in a corner in absolute silence and stillness that we were all tiptoeing round him. Okay? Well done. Okay. So just go. Go play. Those of you who want to play. What we're doing, the steps are